Please, God, stop, please. Please, Dad, they don't do that here. That was what me, myself, and my sister were trying to tell my dad as he tried to haggle down prices in a boutique in UK. You see, my dad had come to visit us in school, and we went to a boutique. And after he had picked certain marked items, he went to the store manager and was asking the store manager to give him a discount. I mean, for my Canadian and American friends, I just want you to imagine going to a TK Maxx or Marshalls, picking up items, and then going to the counter and asking them to give you a discount. That was the kind of audacity that my dad had. But to my shock, the store manager actually gave him a discount. And I remember when we left the store, my dad laughed and looked at myself and my sister. And he was like, I'm not sure why both of you were trying to pinch me, telling me not to do all that. In the end, the store manager gave me a discount. And if he even said no, it wouldn't have killed me. I would have still paid the full price anyway. That moment really stuck with me. For my parents, they are the boldest people I know. They have audacity. They are not afraid to ask. It is such a normal thing to them that it has become a strategy in life for them. Let me just tell you a little bit about my father. You see, my father grew up with very little. He was from a polygamous home. His father had three wives. And if you know anything about being born in a polygamous home, you would know that you need to speak up for yourself. There's competition all round. So for him, he knew that if he did not speak up, if he did not ask, his life would result to little or nothing. So he asked an uncle to please take him to the city. And then he asked another uncle to please pay his school fees. He had the audacity. In contrast, me, his daughter, I struggle to ask. Even when it is my right, I worry about so many different things. So let me just ask you all, by show of hands, can you raise your hand if you struggle to ask for help, for a favor? Yep. Okay. I see Sandra. Okay. Can I just quickly ask Sandra in less than 10 seconds, can you tell me one of the main reasons why you struggle to ask?
Absolutely, because I thought I had to do everything by myself. It was weak to ask for help.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So I think I really relate with that. For me, I feel like I don't want to be seen as weak. So I think that I can shoulder it on and I can take on more than my fair share. I avoid asking when it is my right. I avoid the fear of rejection. And I'm sure many of you here avoid maybe the fear of rejection, the fear of looking weak, like Sandra said, fear of inconveniencing other people. And for some of us, it's pride or is trauma. But let me tell you a secret, and I just want you to come close as I tell you this. People are looking forward to help you. That's the truth. For some people, it's just kindness. They're looking forward to being kind to you. For some, it's for a greater purpose. And for other people, it might be driven by other self-interests. Maybe they're looking forward to helping you so that you can owe them later on in the future. So they're looking forward to having you owe them a favor also. And for others, come close as I tell you this one too, they struggle to say no. So they will more likely want to say yes to you. So asking, asking is a life skill. I used to work in a consulting firm, and one of the work that we did was to help companies recruit leaders. One of the key skills that we always looked for was negotiation skills. And if you really think about negotiation skills, it's actually an asking skill. It's the audacity to put forward an audacious number when you've been given a lower or a higher number. Think about sales. For those of us that are in sales roles, it requires you having the courage to ask. Even think about marriage. In a marriage or a relationship, resentment builds when you don't ask because no matter how much your spouse or your partner or your girlfriend or boyfriend loves you, unless they have superpowers, they are not mind readers. Sometimes you need to open up your mouth and ask. So, in the same way that I once gave a speech here about learning to say no, I think that for all of us, we must also learn to hear no. No is not rejection. No is information. And the truth is that the day that no stops scaring you, asking becomes freedom to you. So I charge you all, my Toastmasters friends, to please train your audacity muscle like I'm trying to learn to ask. You can start small. You can ask respectfully. You can start with, oh, please, could you help me get my cup from the dining table? Or it can even be the bigger things like negotiating a salary, saying things like, oh, I see that for my role and for my years of experience, this position earns this amount to that amount. Can you please give me an offer that is towards the higher end of that band? Ask respectfully, do your fact finding, and ask with courage. And finally, ask anyway. Like my father said, the worst answer you would ever hear is no, and no has never killed anybody. So, as I close out today, I want you to remember my father, that he could have remained in a village with no hope of an education and with no future, but he had the audacity to ask. His asking was not because he was weak, but because he knew that the people who had the chance to change their lives are not always the smartest or the loudest, but those with a certain kind of audacity and those who are not afraid to hear no. So this week, ask for that thing that you have been avoiding or contemplating about. The worst answer you would hear is no, and the best could change everything. Back to you, Toastmaster. Thank you so much.